ever looked at the back of your plant-based chicken or burgers and noticed something a little strange? Now, I have a bag here of these plant-based burgers, and I want to be clear. I like this brand. I eat these, but look at the instructions. It says to cook to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, wait a minute, there's no chicken in here, there's no beef in here. Why do I need to cook a plant to the same temperature as a raw bird? Today, we're going to solve that mystery because it turns out the reason has absolutely nothing to do with plants and everything to do with how our food is made today. If you've got these in your freezer, you need to hear this. Now, before we dive into the science, you know the drill, okay? I am not a scientist. I am not a doctor or a food safety official, okay? I'm someone that likes to research. I'm a researcher and a consumer advocate, all right? I have spent hours digging into the FDA and CDC data because I wanted to know the truth for my own kitchen, okay? I am sharing what I found so you can make the best choice for your family. Always, 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 okay? Follow the specific instructions on your package. Now, for those of us who remember the original veggie burgers, all right, from like 30 years ago, you know the ones I'm talking about. They were mostly just smashed black beans, maybe some oats, sometimes even some corn, okay? They were basically just shaped veggies, all right? But what we have now is what scientists call meat analogues. These are ultra processed in order to make a plant taste like a burger. So if you're trying to stay away from ultra processed, I don't know. They take pea protein, soy, and oils like coconut or cocoa butter and run them through high pressure machines called extruders. Now the goal is to mimic animal tissue. But when you mimic the texture of meat, you accidentally create the perfect home for the same bacteria that love meat. So why 165 degrees? I found 3 specific reasons in the research. Unlike a head of broccoli, you wash it at home. These are made in massive facilities with lots of belts and blades. Every time food is processed, the risk of things like listeria, E. coli, or salmonella goes up. If one ingredient, just one, is contaminated, the whole batch is at risk. Also, bacteria needs 3 things to thrive: moisture, protein, and a neutral environment. These new plant-based meats are designed to be juicy and high protein. To a bacteria cell, this plant burger looks exactly like a steak. It's a 5-star hotel for germs. I mean, we forget that plants grow in dirt, okay? Pathogens like bacillus, they live in soil. If these aren't killed during the manufacturing process, they stay in that raw plant meat until you hit 160 or 165 degrees Fahrenheit mark in your kitchen. There's also a quality reason. These products use specific fats to make them juicy, okay? If you don't hit the right temperature, those fats don't melt properly. If you've ever had a plant-based burger that felt chalky or waxy in the middle, it's probably because it didn't get hot enough to turn those plant fats into juice. The bottom line, just because it's plant-based doesn't mean it's risk-free. Treat it with the same respect you give raw chicken. Use your meat thermometer. Now, I'll put a link to the one I use in the description. And make sure you hit the recommended heat temperature on your package, all right? I want to hear from you. Did you know this already? Have you been eating these medium rare or just until hot, thinking they were safe because they were plants? Let's talk about it in the comments. Now, before I let you go, there is one more thing I want you to look out for in your kitchen. Now, we talk a lot about the final temperature, but we also need to talk about cross-contamination. I mean, think about it. When you defrost a package of raw ground beef or chicken, you're very careful about that juice or the blood dripping onto your counter or your lettuce, right? Well, I've noticed a lot of people treat plant-based meat like it's just wet vegetables, all right? They'll use the same cutting board for the plant-based burger and bun, or they won't wash their hands as thoroughly after handling the raw plant patty. But you have to remember, if those factory pathogens like listeria are present in that package, that moisture, that fake blood or oil, it's just as dangerous as the juice from a raw steak. Okay? Treat plant burgers and chicken with the same respect as raw chicken breast. Wash your hands, sanitize surfaces, and don't let it drip on your fresh produce. It's a simple habit that keeps your kitchen safe. And if you are one of my curators, head over to the Curator's Corner right after this. I've got a little extra research on this that I didn't want to actually put in the main video. Be sure to hit subscribe and share this video out with anyone that you know or everyone that may eat plant-based chicken, meat, fish, anything that's plant-based, because they need to know, even if they're not eating it on a regular basis, all they need to do is eat it once. It needs to be heated to the degree that's on the package. And every brand, every package could be different. Back to reading those labels. You need to read. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm Pam, and you're watching Curated Conversation. Thanks for watching.